I'm Jessica Smith, and I'm going to discuss with you an activity that I created for my fifth grade math students, particularly dealing with the standard NBT 7, which is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of decimals. This particular activity will deal with just the addition, subtraction, and the multiplication of decimals, not the division, because these are the three that we have focused on and have been working with so far. So this would kind of bring those three together into an activity to check for understanding and to make a real world application of the math. So for this activity, students will be planning a vacation. And I made a Weebly page for all the information to be on so that the students could access the Weebly page and get to everything that they need to get to instead of always having to do Google searches, because I have found that sometimes they get distracted because they'll Google search one thing and see something else more interesting and then get off topic or get off track. So this kind of helps streamline into where they need to be. So on our Weebly page, I have the standard and just a hook that they're planning a family vacation, and they have to convince their parents that it will be a good investment. They'll have to research and calculate the price of the trip and present the information to their parents. So the different tabs take us straight to the information that they will need to collect. When we start here, it just gives those directions that I just said. And since we are a Google Apps for Education school, we do focus more on the Google side of productivity tools. So they would be creating their data collection sheet with either using Google Sheets or Google Docs. And we did create that together as a class. But if they wanted to somehow start over, then under the vacation spots, they do have an example of what it should look like and how it should be titled. For the vacation spots, I went ahead and gave them some choices of different vacation destinations around us. And then they're also allowed to choose their own if they would like. This takes them straight to the website of the attraction so that they can see the attraction price, but they would have to do a little bit of research to find where the tickets are instead of all the information coming straight to them when they opened it up. After they find their destination, then they will have to find a rental car. I chose the three major rental car places that are around us in Griffin for them to choose from, and then also put an example of how they should fill out their Google Sheets or their Google Docs to collect their information so that they can use it to find the best price and the best option for their family vacation. Not only with cars, that when you go, you also going to have gas. So on this page, takes them straight to the website Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy you put in the destination that you wanted to go or where you're at, and it will bring up the gas prices of the gas stations that surround. Since they are going to have to fill their car up before they go, they'll have to do it for Griffin, Georgia. And then when they come back from their destination, they'll have to fill up. So they'll do it from their destination location. So if they're going to Tennessee, such as for Dollywood, then they would need to type in Pigeon Forge gas stations and find the price and choose, figure out how much that's going to cost for the entire trip. Once they have all the information down, then they get into where their presentation is going to be and how they're going to present this information to their parents for the trip. Since we are a Google school, I have on here Google Slides, which that was one a lot of them did because that's what they're most familiar with. And as you can see, I did put on here, make sure you're familiar with the tool that you use. If you're not very familiar with it, don't choose it, because I didn't want this to mainly focus on getting frustrated, such as with GoAnimate or Blabberize, if they didn't know what to do, especially with picture charts. So, but I did have quite a few students choose the other three, and they really enjoyed it. And some of the students saw that they were doing, like one of my students was doing Blabberize, and one of them saw it. So they collaborated, and that one student taught the other student how to use it, which was wonderful. So they really enjoyed that part. So these are the tools that we chose. We had that they could create a picture chart. This picture chart, they would put their information in as a infographics for their parents to see. This is information I found. This will be the best choice for us to go, and convince them that way. They can do blabberize. This is where they would talk. They make themselves like a funny character or an animal, and they would talk to convince their parents that way, presenting their information. And Go Animate is similar to blabberize, except they make an animation. And Google Slides would be just that, creating a PowerPoint. Now, they were also given the option when they did present their information if they wanted me to record it. And if they did, then we took that recording and we sent it to their parents so their parents could see what they were doing in class. And they would try to convince their parents that way. So that really hooked them even more and engaged them into it, because it was something that they worked on and they really wanted their parents to do. The rubric is just very simple, and it is also on this page, so students could quickly go back and look at the rubric on what they needed to make sure that they had done in order to get a good grade on this. Now, this could also be differentiated, and it was. I don't have it on here because I didn't want some students to kind of complain, well, why is so-and-so getting to do this part of the activity, but this person I'm not allowed to? Based on the Ticket Out the Door and the Mastery Connect assessment that we took before this activity, I differentiated with some students had to also not only find their destination they wanted to go to, but had to find different attractions that they wanted to attend as well, and then find the distance and the gas prices to those. This activity was really fun. They really enjoyed it, and it really got them talking about the things that their parents do to plan a vacation and go on a vacation.